while the Ravens have soared high since that team could not have gotten off to a better start.
You'll be on this journey with me.
Hey guys, now joined inside Nats Park. All right, so a dream wide receiver prospect has sent a clear message to the Baltimore Ravens from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. So that and more is what I have coming up in this episode, which is brought to you by my new friends at And a Seat. And with that, welcome into the channel. I'm Bobby Trosset, and as always, this is where I bring you Baltimore sports and beyond. Before we dive into Keon Coleman, the Florida State wide receiver, you may have noticed that I've been broadcasting from my new at-home studio. Shout out Dave Taylor from Dave Taylor's 3D Wood Art for supplying me with a brand new backdrop in the form of a Maryland flag. He does great work. And a special shout out to And a Seat, who's sponsoring this episode, as you heard at the top. Now, in this photo right here on Instagram, you can connect with me there at Bobby Baltimore. That's pre-And a Seat. Post And a Seat, look at this sucker right here. This has got everything you could possibly want if you are a streamer, if you are a gamer, if you just need some comfort, whether it's your 9 to 5, whether it's late night hours, whatever it is. And you all know that I enjoy my marathon live streams, whether that's for the draft, whether that's during the playoffs, whether that's during the bye week, whether that's during the beginning of the season, training camp, you name it. I am at this desk for so friggin' long, and a Seat has been the perfect fit for my you-know-what, my behind. It's been awesome, and I want to shout them out because they've got a bunch of different features that come with this chair. And here's a video that I took as well as I kind of tell you about some of these things. 4-way adaptive lumbar support, magnetic memory foam that's included in the head pillow, 4D armrests, a recline that goes from 90 degrees to 165 degrees. You got the backrest and seat base, super comfortable, stain resistant, scratch resistant, certified safety, durability, everything you could possibly want. It's available in 9 different color options, which I'll show you in just a bit. But there's just, look, don't get me wrong. This is a big chair. Like, this is the biggest chair that I've ever owned, just in terms of surface area. But I love it. It's perfect for my space. It's adjustable. And to me, it's been a great fit for what I'm doing here in this new space. Here are all the different colors. Mine's on the upper right-hand, far right-hand side in the second row. Up top, the gray. But you see all the different colors. Orange, brown, pink, white, black, you name it. So anyway, if you're interested, if you're in the process of maybe trying to rejuvenate your at-home space, go check them out. I have a link that's included in the description of this video below. And if you use code Baltimore at checkout, you'll get $30 off your next purchase. A special thanks to And a Seat for really being that final piece to the puzzle for me in this new space as I, for the first time in my life, truly invest in a living space. So thanks, guys, and appreciate you out there for listening. Keon Coleman, Florida State University wide receiver, standout, big body wide receiver, 6'4", 215 junior, okay? Originally from Louisiana, played his college football again for the Seminoles. And this is somebody who, as soon as the mock drafts began, or as soon as this draft process began, and by the way, we're just under 2 months out. So in a sense, it's kind of funny to be talking about it as if this dude's a legit option for the Ravens. But I'm talking about fit. I'm talking about what he had to say at the NFL Combine this week in Indianapolis when asked by reporter Karita Parks about the Ravens. Listen to this exchange.
Keon, going back to your meeting with the Ravens, what do you feel about the prospect of playing with Lamar Jackson, the MVP of the league right now?
I would be grateful for that. And if they bring Odell back, that'll be even better. That's a great guy to learn from because I don't even see him as a vet. Like, he's still legit in my eyes. So being able to play with him, Lamar, Jay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, that'll be a dream.
And then how has Florida State prepared you for the pro level?
Like I said, that transition was smooth. Had to go in there with my receiver room over without words, just work, and just learning that new playbook is the same thing I have to do when I get drafted. So that was different. And moving to a new city, new state, and adjusting to that was perfectly fine. Like I feel confident going into the season.
Here's more on Keon, according to some draft prospect stuff that I've been looking at. He's an above the rim artist with circus catches resembling a scene from the tents of Cirque du Soleil. Coleman has excellent size and ball skills. He's not sudden and doesn't have great speed, so beating press and creating breathing room against tight man coverages will depend on his ability to improve as a route runner. He's a former star basketball player. He's got a rebounder's blend of extension and timing to give jump ball defenders the blues. He's big and strong with soft hands, but he can play with a little more aggression in claiming his deep ball space and getting after it as a run blocker. Coleman might lack the athletic traits to be a well-rounded wide receiver too. Instead, keep an eye on him as a big slot receiver who can be a red zone specialist. And I'll tell you what, I'm on record for thinking or stating or predicting that the Ravens don't currently have a WR2, a wide receiver 2, on their roster. I know they have guys who could potentially be that in Rashad Bateman, right? In whoever they potentially bring in via the draft. But I also know that they have depth at that position and that Nelson Aguilar, who was reliable and consistent and team friendly and locker room friendly a year ago, will be back. I know that Zay Flowers, even if he is suspended for the first couple games, will be back. Rashad Bateman, as I mentioned, is going to try to have his breakout year that we've all been waiting for. He's coming off his best season as a pro when it comes to overall health and numbers. And we haven't even talked about the tight ends. And we haven't even talked about what the Ravens might have in their backfield. And obviously QB1 under center that makes all of this entire thing go. Makes this entire thing tick. So to me, even if it's not Keon Coleman, bringing in a big body wide receiver, somebody who can win you those 50-50 balls, somebody who can win his one-on-one battle, right? Who's going to dominate the contested catching department, the contested catches department and category, right? Somebody who can be reliable, somebody who's willing to learn, whether it's behind OBJ, whether it's behind the rest of the guys that are going to be there. We don't know if Odell will be back. My gut tells me that he'll be elsewhere. I think the Ravens might be better served for the future if that's the case. That doesn't discount what his overall value and what his impact was during his lone season in Baltimore. And I'm sure Keon and any other rookie for that matter would be thrilled to learn underneath Odell Beckham Jr. like Zay had a chance to do a year ago. Now, it is a deep wide receiver class, specifically when you think about the prototypical true X body type measurables. There are a lot of those guys out there. A.D. Mitchell comes to mind. I've done a video on him within the last week. And because it's so deep, I won't be surprised if the Ravens elect to address a different position at the 30th overall selection come April 25th, opening round of the NFL draft, of course. Hopefully announce some more plans for what we have coming and what we have in the works that night. Mel Kiper of ESPN has the Ravens, for example, in his 2.0 mock draft, selecting a Georgia cornerback by the name of Kamari Lassiter. We know that tackle is a need. It's a hefty and deep tackle class. Perhaps there could be a couple guys there sitting at 30 that would entice Eric DeCosta to potentially find Ronnie Stanley's future replacement. I think Ronnie will be on this team next fall. But after that, your guess is as good as mine. Mel went on to write, I'd like to see the Ravens make moves on defense this offseason, and they likely will have to use their cap space to keep some of their own players. Justin Madubuike, of course, headlines that list. Geno Stone coming off a rookie season. Coming off a stellar career season, not a rookie season. Those moves should start at corner. So how about one more in this top 32? Mel Kiper has 6 cornerbacks in his second mock draft going in the first round. Lassiter didn't get beat often last season. He didn't allow a single touchdown as the nearest defender in coverage, and in total, he allowed 9 receptions for 91 yards. Those are elite numbers. The problem, he had 1 career interception, and that came in 2021. Teams will have questions about his lack of on-ball production. I'm a believer that production from corners can be developed, and I'm not worried. I'm interested in seeing Lassiter's 40-yard dash time in Indianapolis, though. So, again, there's a wide array, and there will continue to be over the next couple months of selection in terms of opinions and predictions for how the Ravens might handle themselves at the 30th overall pick. Here is more on Keon Coleman. This dude's a dog. All right, again, 6'4", well over 200 pounds. He'll go up and get it. And that basketball, right, like that basketball description kind of fits what you're watching right now on tape. He'll go up and get it. He's got good body control, good hands. Again, he's not, like you heard there in the overview, he's not going to kill you with speed. But he's got the size, he's got the ball skills, and he creates that separation. Right? Again, he's referred to as being not sudden and doesn't have great speed, but he still finds a way. And that size is overwhelming. 6'4", when you can jump out the gym, so to speak, that to me is the missing piece to Baltimore's offensive puzzle. I've said it once, probably more than once at this point, and I'll say it again this offseason. Lamar Jackson, and by the way, he's number 4, so I don't think Zay Flowers is giving up number 4 now, is he? So we'll have to handle that. But look at this. The guy's got great stamina. And I just think when you add in that type of talent, that type of size, and those measurables in a Baltimore offense that, quite frankly, throughout the second half of the season a year ago was damn near undefendable until the postseason began. Like, that just adds another element that Todd Monken can use at his disposal. So, again, college highlights, FSU football, clearly a stellar season for them a year ago. And this dude was at the top in terms of why, right? Like, he was a major factor in what was a super successful season for Florida State and a controversial one from a college football playoff standpoint down the stretch. So anyway, I'm sure there'll be more content to come out this weekend from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. I kind of want to show up there next year. Like, I think what I realized was, as I continue to build this and Sarah and I continue to build together, the more that we can become visible and create relationships, whether it be at Radio Row from the Super Bowl on an annual basis, or the NFL Combine, or the NFL Draft, like, the more the merrier. And so I'm almost putting this on tape so you guys can hold me accountable, because I think I need to be there next year in Indy. It's not the most productive way to do things, and I'm definitely more productive when I'm in my studio rather than, instead of like a hotel, going back and forth between the convention center, setting up, breaking down, all that thing. Like, I felt that way about Radio Row. Like, tremendous experience, but at the same time, it was like kind of hectic, and I wasn't as productive as I would have liked. We talked to a lot of people. We interviewed a lot of people, but from a content perspective, which is what you guys are here for, I probably could have been a little bit more efficient with my time. So anyway, just thinking out loud. Not sure why I'm telling you guys this, but hopefully it resonates, and hopefully you guys enjoy your start to March Madness right around the corner, free agency, and of course the NFL Draft, which I can now say is coming up next month. In the meantime, connect with me on Instagram at Bobby Baltimore. If you're interested in supporting the channel I'm building here in Baltimore, you can visit patreon.com/Bobby Trosset, which is available in the show notes below. And if you haven't already done so, join the recently revamped Bobby Baltimore Discord server. It's a 24/7 hub for conversations surrounding Baltimore sports, including the Orioles just a few weeks away from opening day. Looking forward to all of that and more. Baseball season's great. Draft season, of course, and free agency season just as good. So a special thanks to And a Seat. Again, go check them out in the show notes below. If you use code Bobby, not Bobby Baltimore, but if you use code Baltimore at checkout, you get $30 off your purchase. So thanks to them for, again, here it is right here. There's that sucker. I'm loving this thing, man. It's been a great addition to my studio. And thank you so much for your patience throughout these last few weeks as I've been in the middle of moving, interior designing with my mother. She stayed with me for almost 3 weeks and was such a vital part of pushing me to do this. I now live in Canton, no longer in Fells Point, and just a lot of change on the horizon as I get ready for my 30th year, my 30th birthday coming up in July. So appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon. And as always, if you enjoyed this specific piece of content, like the video and subscribe to the Bobby Baltimore channel right here on YouTube.